Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I begin by expressing my gratitude for the invitation that was extended to me to officiate at this symposium. Your recognition is of very importance of my office as it relates to the dairy sector is a truly humbling. Allow me at this juncture, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to warmly welcome you all to this end of program symposium, which is, I am reliably informed that we shall dwell amongst many issues on identifying ways of improving the dairy subsector in Zambia. A special welcome is extended to the New Zealand delegation to Zambia. Thank you very much, the team. I am saying it's a special welcome to the New Zealand team. To justify my statement, there's a lot that we are going to benefit from their experience in the sector that we are just discussing. That's how special the team is. New Zealand has recorded in the dairy industry very, very progressive activities. New Zealand is the 8th largest milk production country globally. Globally, underline that word. And is the largest exporter of whole milk powder, exporting at 95%. So if it is in the exam, that is a distinction A. That's how good with this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, New Zealand is definitely an inspiration to us, not only Zambia, but across the globe. It's an inspiration. And as a country, we are going to benefit a lot from their experience in this area.
Today's symposium is all about discussing the learnings from the program and ensuring that as many people in the Zambian dairy industry as possible are aware of its successes and lessons learned so that they can take them forward in their support for the dairy industry for years to come. A core value of the New Zealand approach to international development is what we call kotahitanga. This Māori word is about unity, solidarity and partnership. Indeed, the ZDTP was founded on a partnership between the Zambian government and the New Zealand government. In Zambia, the program has partnered with the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, and I thank the Minister and his staff for all of their support for the program over the last 7 years. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to Gus Davidson and Tracy Edwards from Prime Consultants, the program's managing contractor, Marnik Sandase, the ZDP Program Country Manager, and all of the ZDTP team for all of their hard work over the last 7 years, sustainably strengthening the dairy value chains by increasing the quantity and quality of milk produced by smallholder and emergent farmers. And has this goal been achieved? Well, the simple answer is yes, but the details will flow from the presentations that follow today. I would, however, like to touch briefly on some areas of the program's impact over the last 7 years. Firstly, something on the program's approach. In its first 5 years, the program focused on working directly with Zambian dairy farmers, empowering them with knowledge. Not the type of knowledge that requires many words or theories, as the Minister was saying, but very practical knowledge that can be easily transferred to anyone with a passion for dairy farming. Zambian dairy farmers have been encouraged to think of dairy farming as a business where they need to ensure that their cows are well fed and well cared for. This means, for example, ensuring that there's enough highly nutritious fodder for cattle, and that cows' teats are treated with teat dip to prevent mastitis. Simple practices like this can improve dairy yields and the quality of milk, leading to higher prices for farmers.
The milk volumes are seasonal. We have a year that has only about 4 to 5 months where there's enough grazing, natural grazing and water. So when that runs out from November to about April, somewhere around there, problems start. The milk yield just dip. What that means is that poverty amongst our smallholder farmers is cyclical. Every year, you know that by July I have a problem. I'm not going to have feed. But solutions are all over. We just need to up the game. I'll be the first one to admit we do not have enough extension officers in the field from the ministry. We're very lean on the ground. But it is our desire to have more people on the ground.
So what it is that it's pretty easy. Maybe some of you can even go to Prime Skills. You see, if I have an account, I will just be asked to log in. If you don't have, then you have to create an account. And then there is useful information to do with how to navigate, the introduction. You can check the other participants, you can check your grades, and you can check the 2 courses that are there. So once you, for example, on the 5-point dairy plan, we have segmented each point, and under each point there are subtopics that you go into. Now what you find is that there are a few exercises, a few things to do after you've learned, and then you move to the next. It's pretty easy to navigate. At the bottom of each page you find the next click or the previous. So previous simply tells you to go back. Next simply tells you to go to the next.
In recognition of that, we'd like to provide you with the first ever certificate from completing the course. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So the follow-up question was, how should extension service models resolve the challenges that you are incurring at the market side? I know you are involved in extension to a certain extent, right? And there's also other players doing the same. So how does that landscape look from your end? Or do you feel like more needs to be done? Can you do more?
Can we do more? We would like to do more, obviously. There are some things that we can address with extension. Probably the volume aspect of it, the quality aspect of it can be addressed with extension. But if we talk about distance to collection centers and infrastructure, maybe there's more that the industry as a collective, probably government, should take a leading role on that. But in terms of improving quality, I'll speak for Lactalis. Quality and DNA is, it's in our DNA rather. Quality is in our DNA. Our catchphrase is known for quality and love for taste. So for Lactalis worldwide, as big as Lactalis is to collect milk from third-party suppliers. So because of that model, extension becomes very key, and it's part of our group objective to be able to work and build sustainable relationships with the farmers. This includes technical support, veterinary extension. I myself is a vet. We have got 2 in-house vets over at Lactalis. So it speaks to what we are willing to do and work with the farmers on. We have got 3 field staff, 1 in the northern part or central part, 1 in Lusaka and 1 in southern. That is enough. Maybe we can see from a Lactalis point of view, but from an industry point of view may not be necessarily enough. So probably there's more we can do together as processors, as stakeholders, in terms of improving the quality and obviously the efficacy of the extension service that is being rolled out. But to that end, we need to align on a lot of things because there's a lot of different models and different approaches. That is why maybe we have not to date had a very effective extension program in the country.
What are the best practices of dairy extension service models in East Africa? Because he covers East Africa, not just Kenya. So let's hear from him.
Yeah, thanks. I will focus a little bit on Kenya, but indeed a bit broader as well. And I actually wanted to set the scene a little bit, because here we're talking about volumes during rainy season or dry season. But if you look at like East Africa, and I think we can extrapolate it to the whole of Africa, the more milk is needed because the per capita consumption is quite low still. So from a nutritional perspective, and I think processors will agree, that is a way to go to increase consumption per capita. Plus the population is expected to double even in the next 30 years. So volume-wise, we have a problem if we stick to the current production volume. So I think extension plays a crucial role in terms of increasing productivity. And on top of that, we cannot really use more cows on the continent, let's say, from a more environmental perspective. So again, extension to improve the productivity of the existing herd, I think is crucial. As NEADAP, maybe a little bit of background, we did a survey across the 6 countries, across like 250 extension providers to understand what are their bottlenecks, their success factors, their challenges. I can share the reports that came out of that. I'm not gonna explain all of that, but they're available. In short, there's no golden solution. You need to look at the local circumstances and try to find ways of working between the actors that are present. To come back on your question about the cooperatives in Kenya, I think one of the examples is that they categorize their members, which is maybe not to be outspoken because you don't want to discriminate, but you have different farming systems underneath the cooperative. There are the more commercial farmers, there are the subsistence farmers and a bunch of farmers in between, and you are limited in your resources. So to optimize your extension provision, it makes sense to look at where you have the biggest return without neglecting other groups, but you just adjust your approach for them. So that's one example.
The ZDTP has provided support to 3 dairy cooperatives in Zambia, Wanshama, Iteta, as well as Mungaila. There was a video. What ZDTP did was provide a motorbike, cover the cost of fuel and maintenance for this motorbike for 2 months. Short period to see how that could work. The cooperative committed to recruiting an extension officer from the community, not someone from NRDC, or because a cooperative needs to be able to pay this person in the long term. So they found someone. That person has been active using the motorbike and going to farms, visit farms and listen to the farmer needs and respond to that through extension service provision. Very successful. We were very happy with the results. We saw milk volumes go up more than 200% for one. Milk quality went up. Just the fact that someone's visiting the farmer and making them aware of just a few things that you can improve has such an impact. So imagine for a whole year if you have someone like that. And that's happening at the moment. These cooperatives didn't stop after 2 months. They are continuing. They're making more money, more milk volumes, better quality, more returns. They're reinvesting that money. They're able to cover the salary for a longer term. So it's a sustainable model. We'd love to see that replicated. Gilbert is at Liteta and he's been seeing the works. So I'd like to let him explain from his perspective how it has benefited Liteta Dairy.
So from the time when ZDTP introduced private extension officer, we tried quite all right, for 2 months, and our extension officer did a good job, whereby in terms of milk quality we improved. Even these diseases called mastitis, because now as we are going towards the rain season, this is the biggest challenge we face as farmers. Why? Is because we have a lot of milk, animal produce a lot of milk, but where they sleep in mud. And once a dairy animal with that big udder with a lot of milk sleep in the mud, what are you expecting? Mastitis. You are producing 20 liters, then you find that that animal is being attacked by mastitis. Meaning for you to treat that animal, you lose a lot. So now when you have the extension officer like us, Riteta, whereby the extension officer is visiting farmers regularly, you find that even in the mindset of the farmer, it changes bit by bit until you reach at a certain level.
To start by saying the word extension services, I think, is not being fully explained as to what it means to us farmers. Because as far as we are concerned, extension workers, they are only to come to the farm when there is a problem. And even themselves, with the capacity of maybe fuel and transport and so on, they also do the same. Extension services must start by getting the farmers together, talking to them about the do's and don'ts in dairy farming, make them understand as to how to look after the animal. Animal health is very important.
Every year, we have, before the budget process, Ministry of Finance would take out a notice. It is a request for tax and non-tax incentives, which the commodity associations should look out for and say, no, please, we are proposing that you zero rate or you remove tax on maybe the milking cans, the steel ones, and you identify other. That's how we try to incentivize the industry. We're also supporting climate change by financing to mitigate or create adaptation for you farmers. I know livestock is one of the key sectors, as the ministry has mentioned, that are contributing to the greenhouse emissions. So we can't run away from it, but we can support to mitigate that so that the industry can continue or adapt. Then secondly, we as an ACO, actually, we did take a few farmers to Serenge. I think maybe there could be some here, to a dairy farm, a model farm. This is also one way in which we could support and help you farmers go on a study tour. We are planning to do many more next year, so we're looking forward, and it's at our cost. So it's a contribution that we made and carried a few from at least a number of you cooperatives. We did take some representative to go at our cost to go and see a commercial dairy farm, how it is done. Thank you.
Adaptation. I've always argued that they are just different sides of the same coin. You cannot do one without the other. Every time you undertake any adaptation activities, there is some mitigation benefits, and the opposite is also true. And then in terms of what we could do, I think yes, the argument about numbers, I think for us, especially in developing countries, that is not one of the policy options being advanced. I think I mentioned it. I think Jeremiah also mentioned it. The focus should be on increasing the production efficiency of our systems.
Partnership between ourselves and the off-takers. Not that we completely hand over, but we partner, because they have the specialization in processing, they have the marketing. Because if I do that, I will neglect
the primary production, which I'm trying to improve. And quite a number of us in terms of the board, it's voluntary. And I always argue that there is a limit to what voluntary can be done. So unless you employ professionals to do that, who will use that equipment, is capable of producing yogurt, butter and cheese. But then you need speciality in that. And when you do not have the wherewithal, the capital to employ somebody to do that, you struggle.
ZDTP finally comes to an end and the sun is setting on the program. I just wish to say once again, thank you for everybody's engagement in this 7-year program. We've truly enjoyed working with you all. But we're cognizant of the comment that Gilbert said earlier, and that is it's apparent that farmers have short memories and they tend to forget things. So as a result of that, we've now given you a legacy. So Gilbert, you cannot forget, because when you do, you can now refer to this manual which will guide you into the future about how you should be feeding and looking after your dairy cows. This is our gift, this is our legacy to you as we leave your wonderful country. We wish you all the best, and remember us when you're eating this. Thank you so much.